We are on the Trek Fuel EXe today. All right, we are ready to head out to go see this Trek Fuel EXe. I'm actually pretty excited to go see this bike because in my previous video that I did for the Trek Fuel EXe, the value series, actually got a lot of views. So I've always wanted to get the opportunity to see this bike in action and see what it's all about. Today we're gonna head out to see Brett. He is a rider that's in our local group. Definitely shreds. He's got a bunch of e-bikes and one of them being the Trek Fuel EXe. As far as the customizations, what I heard from Brett is that his 9.7, only the frame is the original 9.7. Everything else is swapped out. So I'm actually very excited to see how much customization has gone into this bike. And maybe, just maybe, we're gonna be able to ride it today. And I wanna see what the motor is about. I wanna see what a super light is. So hopefully you guys get to stay tuned and watch that. So with that said, we're driving out to one of the favorite places that I love riding, which is Greer. Super fun place, so many trails. This is the type of riding that I love doing, just rocky, speed, flow, tech flow, basically. You can really feel your shocks and your fork and everything about your bike perform on this trail system. So we're heading out. See you guys in a bit. There it is.
Yeah, wherever you want.
Yeah, we can do it right here. You
got it?
Go up there a little bit more. It's safer with a bike. Is that a Shimano cassette?
Yeah, I mean, that thing shifts the smoothest out of all my bikes, and it's a crossbreed, you know?
I think that's what everybody's been saying too.
Oh yeah, and it says like not recommended, you know, don't crossbreed or whatever. And
you're like the third person
yeah
that has said the Shimano shifts better than the
SRAM.
The SRAM.
Yeah. I need to send it Frankie sticker on there now.
Oh, I got one for you. What brakes do you have?
Those are the Quadiums, the ones that Gwen designed.
Are they TRP?
Mm-hmm. I love them. I had them. I bought a downhill rig and it had them on there, and I was just so sold on them. I'm like, wow, and they're so cheap. You can get them on the internet. I think I paid $120 each, so
Holy
$240
crap.
for the whole set. And they just work. I mean, best brakes I've ever used.
eMTB.
Yeah, I mean, I got it set up 160, 153. Now is the travel in the back. You know, what's cool about this is it has a 60 millimeter, and they all are the same, and you just take out the spacer inside the shock and you can get an extra 13 millimeters
of travel.
It's got two spacers in there. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
pretty insane.
yeah. So that's what's good. If you get a shock, any shock from Fox, it's like a 60, because they'll have the same as this. It's exactly the same shot as a 60, 62.5, and a 65. They're all the same shock. It just puts spacers inside.
That is a little bit, that's sticking, huh?
Yeah, I never can't get it right, man. I've taken that thing apart, cleaned it, and
That's
my cat.
That's a huge ass seat.
Yeah, well, I got back problems, but these seats are so comfortable. You know, but the thing is, they give on the side, so you don't rock. You know, your pelvis kind of rocks where it, you know what I mean, where it doesn't bind your discs. You know, and you're supposed to be a
But does that not get in the way, like when you're on the trails?
Not really. I mean, I've always had big seats. For some reason, I got such a bony butt, you know what I mean? It seems like you need a bigger seat. Guys with a bigger ass can use a smaller seat.
So this is a 9.7, a Fuel EXe 9.7.
Mm-hmm.
And the standard travel on this is 150?
140, 150.
140, 150. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. What is your height? How tall are you?
I am 5'9".
5'9", and how much do you weigh?
160.
Wow, you're light.
Yeah.
What size is the?
This is a medium.
This is a medium.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does this bike like ride smaller, longer?
It's about
bigger?
comparable to my Levo. I kind of compare it to my Levo.
Okay.
I think it is about a 455 reach, if I remember right.
Okay.
Same with the Levo. I think it's about 455. So that's where I kind of want to be. Maybe a 460 reach. Mm-hmm. Is kind of where I want to be, is my perfect sweet spot. Yeah.
I noticed the chainstay is actually quite long.
Yeah.
It's not like a super short chainstay type of.
Yeah.
Because when I did the pivot shuttle LT,
right,
that thing is like That chainstay
Yeah.
is tiny.
Yeah, yeah.
Like 436 millimeter for
Yeah.
like a 170 bike. And so like the stock 9.7 forks, they're the
Rhythm?
the rhythm.
Came with a rhythm, yeah.
You got rid of that. And then you got a deal on it's a 36.
Right.
And the shocks, the stock shocks, were they the Floatex Performance? Not the Performance Elite, just the Performance.
Just the Performance, yeah.
Just with the
one dial.
One dial.
I actually got a good deal on this one, and it was a warranty through my other bike because had the Float X2 was failing on my Levo 2, and had a malfunction, and I guess some problem with it. They warrantied it, and I asked them if they'd give me this shock, and they said no problem, and they gave me this shock and a $100 gift card, and called it good.
That's awesome.
The only thing of stock is the cranks, like I said, and the cassette. SLX cassette works great.
And then you have the carbon reserve wheels, which are pretty badass. And you got a deal on this, $700.
$700. Yeah.
What is the MSRP on this bike?
I paid,
9.7.
I believe it was 78, and then out the door was about 82 is what I paid for it.
How long have you had this bike?
I bought this bike in September of 2022. Actually traded in an older downhill bike bought it at Cycle USA.
Okay.
And then they swapped out my downhill rig and gave me what I was looking for it, and applied that to the deal and paid the rest off.
That's good.
Yeah.
That is good. How does this climb compare to like full fat e-bikes that you've owned?
Yeah, you definitely have to put in some more work. That's a no-brainer. You know, we got a 50 Newton meter motor with a 360 watt battery.
Okay.
So it does well. I can get about almost 20 miles out of it on a trail mode the way I have it set up in the app. So that's kind of where my sweet spot is about 20 miles is what I like to get.
Okay. Do you find yourself riding alone with this bike?
This bike, I ride alone a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, and like I said, I pull this bike, you know, probably about 80% of the time and ride the full fat about 20% when I'm riding with friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know, quick after work, just jump on this and go. I like the power of the mid-range bikes a little bit better than the full fat.
Yeah.
I feel that it has too much power, the full fats, and I like to get a little bit more exercise. I'm a little bit fit, but I don't mind pedaling. You know, I used to love to climb back in the day of the analog days, and would climb anything, you know.
160 is a good weight. What's the one thing that this bike does well, in your opinion?
It's very fast, and it's very light to me compared to a full fat e-bike, which I love. I love the weight of this bike is 12 pounds lighter than my Levo, which I find that's a sweet spot. I struggle with my Levo a little bit because it is heavy. I wish we can get a full fat down to this, this weight, but we're getting there.
Yeah, it's getting there.
Yeah.
It's one word to describe this bike.
Very agile, very light, very poppy. You know, it's just playful. It makes me. It reminds me of an analog bike. That's what attracts me to it.
Have you tried to outride the battery?
Yes, I've run it down to nothing.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you need to do to kind of get it calibrated. At first it was kind of weird where I would get different readings, but I think the manufacturer, the bike shop I bought it from, told me to run it down all the way to 0 and it kind of calibrates itself.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Something
cool.
like that, yeah.
That's pretty cool. And you also have a range extender, right?
I do.
What
I think
hours
it's
in the range?
160.
160. So that's total of...
C would be 520.
520 isn't that bad.
Yeah.
Because that's...
For a mid-power bike.
For a mid-power bike, 520, you're looking at first-gen stuff.
Yeah.
But you can still ride this bike without the power, right? Like, it's light enough to feel...
Well, it has that motor drag. There is a bit of a motor drag.
I thought the TQ or the Fazua, like, they focused on no motor drag. But
yeah, I
think
still
a little bit.
Yeah, there is. I mean, I can notice it. I would never. I don't know why you would want to use an e-bike with no motor. I mean, you know,
this is like super quiet. Right?
Super quiet. Yeah,
Like
I love the motor in this thing. That's what really sold me on
Yeah.
it. I mean, you can't even notice. People, you know, don't even notice it's an e-bike.
Having both full fat and super light, would you recommend a first-time rider to get a super light?
The biggest is who you're riding with.
Right.
That has a lot to do with e-bikes.
Right.
Because, you know, if I took this out you know, with Orvin's group on a Wednesday, it's not happening. I'm not able to keep up, you know.
Yeah.
I've got my Orvin setting on my Levo, and I put it on there and I can follow him good, you know. So
I think for a lot of new riders, I would say get the full fat, because you want to experience the full power.
yeah.
Once you experience full power, then make your decision. The next bike, have that super light in your quiver, like a full fat and a super light.
It's a great combo, yeah.
All right, I think we got most of the questions in. It was let's go riding. We got Hero Dirt.
Absolutely.
This dirt looks so good. Let's go. All right, let's climb. Let's climb and see how this thing does. It does. Should feel good. All right. So quiet.
Quiet.
It feels, you get that, it's not bad. 50 Newton meters of torque. Definitely you have to work a little bit. I can definitely feel the need to work on pedaling when it's a little bit steeper. But when it goes, it goes. It's definitely easy to lift up the front.
Yeah.
Way easier.
And it likes to be ridden at kind of higher cadence, so.
Yeah, because I can feel like the assist not kicking in until you're revving it. Yeah, you gotta definitely put in more work. Super lights are built for a particular type of rider.
Yeah.
You gotta anticipate a little bit more.
There you go, that's the word.
Yeah. Settings are a little bit different on this bike, so I'm not gonna full send. Definitely a way fast roller than my bike. Woo. Woo. Very, very agile, playful poppy. Almost forgot what it feels like to ride an analog bike. Definitely loads of fun. Woo. Yeah, easily. Takes chunk pretty well. Pops so good. Wow. Amazing. This is one hell of a bike. It's fun, it's poppy, it's playful, it's quiet, and it is super light. It really did make me feel like I was back on my analog bike again. But I do want to stress the point. Super lights are built for a very specific type of rider in mind. So if you're new to mountain biking, I would suggest a full fat e-bike to take advantage of its power and its battery size. But if you already do own a full fat or are a seasoned rider, the Trek Fuel EXe is the perfect bike to have in your quiver. I hope you all enjoyed this video. We'll be back next week with another kick-ass eMTB. So enjoy the rest of your week. And as always, stay electric. Peace.
Duh.